All right.
All right, well, put your hook in the vise.
No. I can't see one you have to tie here or do it home. In the Peacock, what are we imitating here?
Okay.
Nothing.
And because we're tying this way, I gotta kind of look to see if y'all, when y'all are ready. Next thing you need to do is get your piece of wire, that 025 lead. And on this hook, we're gonna make, like Bill said, about 15 wraps. And pinch it off. Oh, y'all can't see my hands. And kind of shove it together and get it in the, I like to try to get it in the middle of the hook. Best you can. Not critical, but I like it where it's balanced in the middle and it's not front heavy. Those little ends of that wire don't matter because we're going to cover all that up. Okay, start your thread behind the eye, wrap it up to the beginning of the lead wire, and I try to make a, you don't call it nothing less a dam there to keep that wire from sliding. Cut off your tag end. And instead of wrapping through the wire, I go back and wrap behind the wire and try to build it up to try to get it in place. Okay, and then you can run some through it. And that secures it. Now, it's recommended, and I'm not going to do it tonight because of, is that you put a spot of super glue on there. I don't normally do it, I mean, like tonight one, because I like to let it dry. I don't like to go putting material on top of wet super glue. And move your thread back to the point of the hook. Now take one of those rubber legs, fold it in half, and cut it. So you got two pieces. Take those two pieces, lay it on top, right where your thread stopped, about the center, as close to the center you can get those two pieces. Wrap it once, pull it tight, get your leg, make sure you get your legs back up on top like that. Then fold the top two back to the other two, and then wrap that down.
Back two?
You just got all, so all four will be going to the rear.
Okay.
See, all four going back this way. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Now, how many people don't have something to twist this chenille with?
Dubbing twister.
A dubbing twister?
I've got some.
I got a bag right here if somebody's short. Everybody have something? I mean, there's 10,000 varieties, but this isn't going to be like doing the dubbing loop we did last month. Okay, everybody good? Okay, you should have a 6-inch piece of chenille. Okay? Take one end and tie it in on top right where we tied those legs at.
Did you put that on the last piece of the lead, or did you go off the lead?
On top of the legs, where you tied those legs in, right back in the back of
No,
both.
lead, he has lead,
I said legs.
but he said LEAD.
Well, I'm sorry. Right there, Mike, over the point,
Yeah, behind the lid, Mike.
behind the lid. Unless you got your lid slid back that far, well then, that's a different circumstance. Okay, now that you've done that, take the other end, place it right on top where you tied that first piece in, and wrap it and secure it. So you're gonna have a loop. Come pro. That way, the loop. You're gonna have a loop. Yeah, you got it folded in half. You tied one end in, then put the other end in and make a loop. Like that. I'll wait till everybody's caught up. Anybody catching up? Now take a dubbing twister, or if you have one of these, whichever, whatever you have, pull it to you and wrap it. Just, it's not like you're gonna get it so tight that you think 15 or 20 wraps and you got it. What this does is by doing this double wrap, it makes it bushier and it's thicker, and then it lasts a lot longer.
So we're supposed to twist it then?
Yeah, you twist it. Till you have it like a cord, okay? Now, holding that in place where it's at, move your thread up to the middle of the hook. Okay, now that you're to the middle of the hook with your thread, take the this Estes or Chenille, make one wrap, two wraps, and stop.
I'm sure you don't get the legs hung in.
Yeah, don't get the legs hung in it.
So does that go about to your thread?
No, it was just two wraps. It shouldn't be there yet.
Well, my thread is,
Well,
I may need to move my thread forward.
I don't think it matters much, Carl, because you're fixing to do something else with it. Okay, two wraps, move that out of the way so it's not gonna bother you. You take your others, one of your other legs, one more leg, I'm showing y'all, I'm supposed to be showing the camera. Another leg, do the same thing we did before. Cut it in half to where it's two pieces. So you have two pieces. Okay? Lay it right on top of where your thread stopped, about middle ways of those sets of legs, on top. Take one loose wrap, I can do it. Take a wrap and get them both on, make sure both sets are on top. So you've got to divide, you got half to the front and half to the back. And there's your threads right here. Okay. Now that you've got that, you need to wrap your thread. And what you're doing, is I've made a few wraps here. We made a space where these legs are wrapped down, where there's enough room. We wrap this chenille again to wrap it twice through there. Now, it's not critical that it's exactly wide enough or not, but you need to make a space for it.
So
one side of your legs is gonna go forward.
Right. You got one set going forward and one set going backwards, like that, okay? And then you're wrapping the thread here and make a little space where you're gonna wrap the chenille into this space.
Now, those ones that are pointed forward, are they gonna stay?
Just,
that way?
we'll get there, Mike, just a second. Right now, leave them where they're at.
Got them.
Should it end up about where your lead ends up?
I don't know, one reason I say is, Jeff, because none of the lead's gonna be the same on.
Oh,
on
yeah,
it.
yeah, okay.
So,
I got it.
okay, pick up the front legs, Mike, move them back, and wrap your thread up to right behind the eye of the hook. And leave it there. We're almost through. So your thread should be behind the eye of your hook.
So we just take 2 wraps with the chenille, right?
Not yet.
Oh, we didn't do that? Okay.
No, you still, your chenille's still behind where we wrapped it the first time. Now that you have that done, take the chenille, wrap it 1 time, 2 times, if you can keep it on the dubbing twister. Y'all will pardon me a minute. Okay, then you got it twice, then pull those front legs back, wrap it again, and you should stop right by the eye of the hook. I got my finger over. And then you need to tie it off, wrap it down, wrap it, I lose you, and then you trim it off. Okay, and then we're gonna wrap it down behind the eye, and you should have legs going back like that. Did I lose anybody? Only thing left to do is whip finish it, or half hitch it, or however you want to finish it.
So 2 wraps behind the legs and then 2.
Yes, 2 wraps behind the legs when we start, then we put the middle legs in.
Yeah.
There's 2 wraps there, and there's it depends on the front, but there's usually 2 wraps in the front. And you're gonna end up with this mess, for lack of a better term, up here in front with all this stuff. But go ahead and finish it, whip finish it, and then you gotta trim off all that stuff so you can get the eye of the hook. But that's so last step is to whip finish it. Whip finish and cut thread. Cut thread.
Now, what's what 2 legs they want to stick? Are they supposed to be swept back?
Yeah, swept back. Before you make that wrap forward, just pull them, hold them back, and wrap in front of them.
2 legs.
That doesn't matter.
Oh, crap.
See, Carlton, look at these on this one. It didn't do that. So it still fishes.
When you strip it, it'll switch that.
That's it. Okay, everybody have any problems? Peter, you good?
You
Yeah,
trim
I gotta
the
say,
length of the leg.
this looks like really juicy. This looks really tasty. That was a bass, I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I caught a lot of sunfish on it too. Big bluegill.
Jim, would this work okay if you didn't double loop your,
That's what we're fixing to do.
okay.
Yeah, I double looped it like the original, so when everybody gets through this one, we're gonna single one. Everybody good?
My legs, so just leave them like
I
that.
always crap.
Leave it like that. We fix to do another one, Carlton. You can fix it on the next one.
Through with this?
Just hit it.
Yep, if you got your whip finish, you're through with it. That is the fly.
Jim, the legs, he was asking any sense of, trimming them
Yeah.
short or long or what?
I generally don't trim them. But in most circumstances, when you're using a fly that's got rubber legs on it,
Basically, it's the same.
you know when to trim it after you start using it, because if there's a bunch of brim, they'll start pulling on the legs. You don't ever hook them. You got to cut
It's the
down.
same thing when you tie this curly tail on it. And
What'd you say, Judge?
white trout.
Looks like a goober fly to me.
And
To a no goober, yeah.
I had
Anybody got any questions on it?
and I always done that, and it could be dead. And I grabbed them and I.
All right. Let's see. I got another hook here somewhere.
Well, that man right there, he passed out
What's that?
several years ago. The hair clips.
Little hair clips that you use to hold it.
Yeah, there's certain things you go to beauty aisle and Walmart for. This is one thing. The other thing is hard as nail fingernail polish.
I love that stuff.
And something else I get there. But those are the two prime things right there. And if you ever go doing popping those, you go down and buy all different colors of fingernail polish.
Yep. And that too.
Jim, what's gonna be different on this one?
It's saying we're not going to double the chenille. We're going to use a single strand.
Will the fly be slimmer because of that, or?
Yeah. And that's, Bill does it that way. I've always double wrapped them. But I think on these smaller hooks, when you get down to them 10s or 12s or whatever, I went to 12s on, but it's just, long shank, you good.
Yeah.
But 10, a 10 will catch anything you want to catch, small wise. All right, we're going to start off the same way again. Put the hook in. You good, Peter? Okay. We get the wire and give it about 12 to 14 wraps. And same as before, start your thread behind the eye and move it back and wrap around the wire to keep the lead wire from moving.
So Jim, do you think with convenience, since you're gonna single wrap it, will you need less weight or does it make a difference?
I think Bill leaves it the same. I don't single wrap.
Okay, all right.
So, no reason why I don't. I just, when I follow somebody's pattern, I just stick with it.
Right, I understand.
No particular reason.
Any idea, like with the lead wire, we're using comparable beadhead weight? I have no idea. Like, is it much lighter or is it too?
Well, I think with a beadhead, Jerry, it's going to tendency to.
Say again?
With bead head, I think it's going to have a tendency to stand up. Well, this ain't a jig head, but I'd just be a different variant of it.
So the action's different then?
Probably so.
Okay.
Because this will I fish this on the bottom and just work it back. So if I can't see the bottom, I don't know if it's really on the bottom, but it works, so. All right, we're back to the legs again. One leg, cut it in half. Lay it on top. Pull your legs back where you got all 4 legs going to the rear. And then wrap over them up to about the point of the hook. I got a flapper on this one.
Jim, is this rubber wire tied solely on the hook shank, or is it go above the lead?
Do what, Mike?
The rubber legs, are they on the hook shank, or do they go up on top of the lead?
I have on a hook shank because
Okay.
look, look. Here's the wire. Here's the lead. Okay, here to here. It's I've got it centrally located between the bend and the eye.
Got it.
So you got room behind the lead to tie them in, or you should have.
Thanks.
All right. We'll do just like we did before, with the exception we're not gonna double wrap it. So start your chenille right on top of the rubber legs, or the legs. And then forward your thread to the center of the fly. And this is just a different variation of the way you can do it. It's basically the same fly minus us doubling the chenille. Same process, wrap it once, twice. On this one, I'm going to tell you, do it one more time. Do it actually 3 times. Because this isn't as bulky as what we did before, so it's not going to take up as much space on the hook.
And Jim, do you ever tie off that last wrap? Like just put a thread around it just to keep it in place?
On the wire?
No, on
On
the
this.
chenille.
You can. I just put it, no, because I don't want it binded down there.
Okay.
I mean, it's just, because that way if I bind it down there, it's not going to be sticking out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just easy.
Yeah, but if you didn't have to clip, you might have to do that.
Well, I mean, you can hold it with your fingers. I mean, you don't have to have a crimp. I did that to have it. But usually I just hold on to this twister in my hand. I just hold it over here and go lay it here and put the legs on it. But I have to wait a long time on this time, so I have to get out of the way. I'm missing relief. Okay. We do the same thing with the legs we did before. Put them in half. Lay it in front of the last wrap. Cinch it down. Keep it on top and give you enough space to put 2 wraps in there. Once you have that done, move your thread forward to the eye. Okay? Sketch asked the question, do you have to use these? I was, because you can hold it with your fingers and do it. But it's easier if you got it out of the way if you're trying to do something else. Okay, so we're up in between the legs again. It'd be 1 wrap, 2 wraps. Pull your legs back. And you have 1 wrap in front of the legs, 2 wraps, it may make it 3. Okay, and then you tie it off.
So it doesn't have much front of your legs when you pull it back?
Yeah, I pull the legs back and then make that first wrap and pull some legs back. And whip finish it and you're through.
So I should have wrapped back a little bit further.
Do you think it sinks quickly with that lead on it, or does it
Yeah.
just drop?
After this does, it gets wet, it goes down. I mean, it ain't gonna be, it's slow sinking. But it's, a lot of fish you catch when it's falling, so.
That's interesting.
Right, I see, this is the way of controlling. Thanks.
If y'all look, see all this stuff on the front right here? Where you can't find the eye of the hook? Don't make the mistake and go glue this.
Don't put glue in it.
What they made buckets for.
Yeah, that exactly.
Or drill bits.
Because, whatever you got. But one way to put super glue in these things is after you tie that whip finish and you don't cut the thread, put a little bit of super glue on the rest of on your threads you got hanging down, wrap it about twice, pull it down, and then take it back off and cut it. And that super glue will go through that thread into this whip finish, and it won't be all in your eye. That's a Charlie Craven. See, I watch videos. Yeah, but this stuff here, a lot of times what I do, and you gotta be very careful, I take a cigarette lighter and get it close to it, and not, just where it just got poof. You can't get up where you burn the thread off, but it helps to clear it. It clears some of it.
I do that all the time, because
I'm always melting stuff, cutting it loose. Any questions?
Are you gonna trim that tail?
You can. That's what Rich had asked you a minute ago. It depends. They start hitting it, you have to cut it off. You can trim them like you like, because a lot of times these two right here have a tendency to cut this that would make them the same length, but it's more movement.
You ever tried that with a little hot spot?
No, I hadn't, because you can't see the thread.
All right. Well, I got enough to do with
Oh yeah, you got yours back. Yeah. No, we didn't do a cord. We didn't tie with pink thread. Pink thread's hot spot and everything.
One man do too.
I like this one better.
Any questions? Everybody good to go?
Did you say this was a size 8, 4X long?
Bill, these 3X or 4X? 3. This is a 3X, Pete.
Okay, thanks.
You can use a 4X, so just, got to adjust accordingly.
Right.
The smallest I go down is 10. I think the biggest I've tied is 8s. I mean, 6s.
But I mean, you can just do that too. You still have to use one thread.
Yeah, keep. Oh, yeah.
Catch asked a question about trimming those back legs. You can trim them if you'd like, or trim them as you fish it. I mean,
I just have to use a lot of them.
it depends.
Yeah. I got a bunch to put these tails on. Actually, it's the tails.
Very easy fly to tie, very few material. Very effective.
What are you guys colored, Jim?
In creeks, root beer,
I sure hope we don't catch that.
What color are the legs on the root beer one?
these are brown, some sort. No, I don't get all specific with legs.
You think it really matters if they're brown legs or?
I don't feel like this. Years ago, I was catching up, we was in somewhere, Red Stick, and they were making worms with legs you used on spinnerbaits. They come in bags. And I must have bought 200 different colors in bags trying to make worms to catch bass on. So I use whatever's in that box. Close to the color. I don't get all specific going into them. It works for me, so.
Round, bigger leg, round.
With these. And you, Catch, what was that man's name that tied those worms that we furled and doubled back over and rolled? From Baton Rouge?
Think about more.
Yeah. I never caught a fish on one, but I tied them anyway. Yeah, that's it. That's the first squirm worm.
First squirm worms came out and all that, so, Gary Lee, renames it the Kabali creature. Nobody's gonna copy that.
No. And he was a man, when he said they're tying them, showing me, he told Pete Cooper that there was a bunch of arcadal bugs down someplace in Baton Rouge, and if I looked, Pete was already gone. He went to get them.
I tell you what, the Kabali creature really does work at times.
I've caught a few on them, but I mean, I don't fish it enough, really.
Never done it that way.
It's just a bit of a whip,
Yeah.
like everything else.
Bill, you wanna?
Well, you got more energy than I do though. You have more energy than I do though. You're not as lazy as I am.
That's not according to my watch.
I don't know if you want to stop it or not. We went through both of them.